colors. We acknowledge the long history of Turtle Island from coast to coast and its original people. We are thankful for the opportunity to work and live here, and we are grateful for all of the generations of people who settled here. We acknowledge that right now we are standing on ancestral lands within Treaty 29, the Huron-Tract Treaty, and the 45.5 Treaty. We recognize with humility the inequities connected to colonization and know that we must raise awareness to ensure that this history never repeats itself. We show respect, recognition, and commitment to the ancestors of this land, to move forward in the spirit of reconciliation, actions, and initiatives to aid the present and future generations of Indigenous people in an inclusive and vibrant community for us all, together in peace and friendship.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command, with glowing hearts we see as the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
You may be seated. As part of our Remembrance this year, our after-school drama club, known as Black Door Theater, has put together a series of tableaus for the poem in Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields. In Flanders Fields, the poppies grow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing the fire, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved, and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, from failing hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. At this point in time, I'd like to welcome to the stage Mrs. Tracy Eagle to read from the
I want to thank you for inviting us from the Visible Branch 259 Rotary meeting. In turn, I would like, if you can, make it to our service tomorrow about 10:45. We do have a little lunch at the Legion. So if you can attend, I'll just see you downtown. Thank you.
And we have a special guest today. We have a veteran speaking to us, Mr. Jim Shepard, who has served 30 years in the Canadian military. I can talk about some of the locations he's been to. And with his son serving, having served in the Canadian military, he got over 80 years experience in Cleveland, so he's got lots of experiences to show us. Thank you, Mr. Shepard.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jim Shepard. I am a veteran of 32 years actually. And it's like Hank Stone's song, I've been everywhere. I started out in 1963 in Newfoundland. Some of you say Newfoundland, but to me it's Newfoundland. And I was put on at 6:30 in the evening, I was put on the Newfie bullet, a train, narrow gauge track back then, and across Newfoundland. Spent 2 days outside of Port of Bass because of the snowstorm, waiting to get to Port of Bass to get on the ferry. Finally, we made it. And got to the mainland, and then on the day liner from Sydney, Nova Scotia, to Truro, Nova Scotia, and then picked up the train from Halifax in Truro, and finally made it to Calgary after 7 days, all by train. So today is a little different travel. And since then, I have not looked back. I did 32 years service, and I've been out of the service 32 years. So, 5 years ago, there was a strong, very strong wind, easterly wind, blew across the island of Newfoundland, and it blew me right into Lismore. I couldn't be more happier than where I am today. I ended up joining the Legion, Branch 259, Andrew McKeever, and him and I have something in common. We were both in the Queen's Own Rifles of Canada. He was in Toronto when he started. I did my tour in Calgary and Victoria, BC. In 1974, I transferred to the engineers and then made 2 trips back and forth across Canada, different bases from Victoria to North Bay, to Sydney, Nova Scotia, to Cornwallis, where the recruit school used to be, then to Truro, base Dewar, back out to Calgary, my second tour, and then back to Halifax, and from there I finally packed it in. So I had a pretty good career with 2 tours to Cyprus, 1965, and again in 1970. 1970 was a little different than 65 because I was up in the mountains on the Green Line between the Turks and the Greeks. It was challenging at times, but 1970 we were stationed right at main camp, where we ended up building a mess hall for one of the line companies, 60-man mess hall. 1974, when the war broke out again, they had a direct hit right on the mess hall. Thank God there was nobody there in the mess hall at the time. So, I really can't think of a war, a conflict, mission that Canada has been involved in that we have not lost a soldier. The latest being in Latvia, where we lost a young soldier over there. But just to give you some statistics of how many we've lost, World War I, Canada lost 66,000 soldiers. Never came home. World War II, it was 45,000. Korea, 516. Afghanistan, 158. Cyprus, a peacekeeping mission, 28 in the period of 1964 when it first started until 1993. Bosnia, it was 23 from 1992 until 2010. 9 in Egypt in 1974 when a missile shot down a Canadian Buffalo aircraft, and all 9 people on board were killed. 1 in Iraq, when the war was on there, and Canada had no involvement in Vietnam, but we lost 134 Canadians in Vietnam that were over there and volunteered to fight with the U.S. forces. So, war is a terrible thing, and it seems to just go on every day. The Ukraine war is not a pretty sight. Now, being a member of Branch 259 a week or so ago, I guess it was at the meeting on Friday night. Madam President, Tracy said, "You are going to be the guest speaker at the assembly at the school." Yes, ma'am. So I was quite thrilled when she asked me to, or told me that I was going to be the guest speaker. I'd just like to say a little bit in my short time that Branch 259, with the coffee campaign every year, it goes towards homeless veterans and wounded warriors, the ones that have come back, especially from Afghanistan, that are badly broken, missing limbs, and the coffee campaign goes towards that. It also goes towards programs dished out within the community. For instance, there was a fire at the local hospital. We donated $5,000 towards that. A piece of equipment, vital equipment at Palmerston, we donated $20,000 to that, and I think it was matched by the Bank of Nova Scotia. So it was a good chunk of change that was dished out. Now, Tracy also likes to hear stories. Well, I'm going to tell a little short one now that she has not heard before. When I was a young soldier back in '64, I was elected to go on a skills development exercise out into the bush. And all we were given at the time was a map and compass in Wainwright. If anybody's familiar with Wainwright, a vast area. Well, we were dropped off with the map and the compass and given a grid reference. The grid reference we were given is where our food cache was. If you don't find it, you don't need it. Anyway, in order to find out where we were in Wainwright, we had to take a bearing on 3 different objects, identifiable objects, and then do a back bearing, and where the 3 back bearings intersected, that's where we were. That was our position. So then we could give an accurate reading to go to find our food cache. Well, we did find it, and lo and behold, what did we add in the food cache? T-bone steaks. Frozen as hard as that. And all they were doing was just testing to see how we use our initiative. Well, we built a fire, and most people took their steaks and threw them in the fire. And they were like this is black, a little discolored. Well, I had a bit more appreciation of a T-bone steak. Coming from Newfoundland, we live mostly off bologna. Oh, I took the shovel, nice and clean from Wainwright, digging in the sand. I wiped it off clean, got a nice knot in the fire, and the fat along the side of the T-bone steak, I rubbed it all over the shovel, got it all greased up, the shovel was nice knot in the fire, and I cooked my T-bone steak. I'm probably the only one today that's ever cooked a T-bone steak on the shovel. So, it wasn't like it came from a egg, but it was the next best thing to it. So in summing up, I'm really pleased to be here with this assembly. And as I look out over you, I see a lot of potential members for the Legion and possibly members for the Armed Forces. If you make that decision to go that route, it's a good way to go. There's a lot of young people from Lisdale that have joined the forces. We have the Catholic brothers, I don't know if anybody's familiar with them or not. One is in Latvia now, and the other one is getting prepared to go. I think this I think it's his second tour, is it, Jerry? His first. So, folks, I appreciate being here, and I sincerely want to thank you and everyone here for having me attend today. Thank you.
Military tradition of being voluntold and rising to the occasion when you're asked to come. I'd now like to welcome to the stage Ms. Chelsea Power, who's going to share her poem, Whispers of Home.
home echoes of war. The whistle screamed a metal shriek, and hurled me here where hopes grow weak. A boy no more, a number now, with fear etched deep upon my brow. The earth explodes, a deafening roar, and ringing echoes evermore. My ears they throb, a constant pain, if the world has gone insane. The mud, a hungry grasping maw, it pulls me down, defying law. It stains my skin, it chills my bones, a constant creeping mortal groan. The sting of tears flooding my eyes like water floods treasure flies. The warm red trail it leaves behind is down my cheek a silver bind. Like water flowing into boots and clothes, a constant chill and deeply grows. The smell of rot, a sickening fear, life and death find share too. I clutch my pen, my trembling hand, to write a field, a promised land. Of a mother's face, of a sister's smile, of a home, a dream for just a while. The paper shakes, a fragile thing, as memories like birds take wing. I write gardens green and bright, and banish the shadows of the night. Dear love, I write, the sky is gray, the days are long, nights will sweat. The rain it falls, a bitter stain, but I hope a fragile broken thing. A dream of warmth, of fires glow, like of gentle hands that softly flow. The laughter smile, a distant chime, a world untouched by war and crime. The rats they scurry in the night, their eyes like embers burning bright. They feast on scraps of fallen men, with whispered tales again and again. The fire ignites a ghostly gleam, and paints the trenches in a dream. A frozen moment, stark and cold, a story yet to be untold. The letters lie upon my chest, a fragile hope, a weary rest. For words are all that I can send to those I love until the end. The guns they boom, a distant dread, and whisper names of all the dead. I close my eyes and hold my breath, pray for peace and banish death. The earth is torn, the sky is black. Then dreams of home, they turn right back. The letters stained with mud and tears, a testament to fallen years. I dream of fields of golden hay, and wish this war would go away. A fresh recruit, a boy no more, is waiting for a distant shore. Thank you.
We are now going to undertake our ceremony for the names of the fallen. During the first two world wars, as well as this Afghanistan, 47 soldiers from LDSS.
Right? We honor them now with this ceremony.
Joseph Bassett. Sidney Bassett. George H. Brown. Robert H. Campbell. Harold Chapman. Milton Gates. Ernest Gilmore. Harry Gunther. Douglas Hamilton. Carmen Husser. James Basil Jolie. Clifford J. Wall. Hugh Boatman Murphy. Julian B. McDonald. Andrew McIver. Maxwell Park. Archie Riggs. Gordon Rogers. W. Leonard Rogers. Alex Simpson. Harold Simpson. Wallace Simpson. William J. Squire. B.S. Tassie. Sean Terry. Edward Bowery. Montana Brothers. Raymond Calhoun. Errol Dixon. Elder Douglas. Harold Hewitt. Carl Howard. Kenneth Jack. John Kibler. William Large. Wilbert Lavery. Burns Mallet. Alexander McMillan. Melvin Oliver. William Penn. Elmer Richards. William Scott. George Balance. Baldwin Williams. Percy Willis. Donald Woodman. Anthony Kloppenhauer. The first is a song by the Canadian band The Tragic Band. It's a song called Fiddler's Green. This song was written about a young man who loses his life too early. His mother's whispered prayer. And then his journey as a soldier through a mythical land known as Fiddler's Green, which is an ancient folk story about a passageway, a place where our sailors in particular pass from one night to the next. Our second song is Imagined by John Lennon. In remembering those who have given their lives for us, to honor their memory, we sing this song in hopes that we all can work together to build a better world, one in which we don't let those things that divide us from our humanity, and in a place where we can live as one.
September 17. Girl, I know it's Mother's Day. Sun is gonna leave. That's where people say, when the weather fades, tearing blue eyes in me. Songs that sing to sorrow for you. Tiny knotted heart. I guess it never hurts. Tears all around. Water goes over. Hear her whisper prayer. And at last the hello. Sacred looks ahead. Looks away. Oh, nothing's changed anyway. Oh, nothing's changed anyway. These times he doesn't know what's so. There's nowhere that he's he will travel on. Not in Fender's way. Blues are filled with rain. As children's hearts learn singing. Songs that sing the sorrow. For boys that listen. all the people living life in peace. They say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can live for free or hunger. Brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. They say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
Music students and Black Door Theater under the direction of Mrs. Rillis. Art and photography students under the direction of Miss Wallace and her classes. The Liverpool Legion, Major Andrew McKeever, and their president, Mrs. Tracy Nickel. Our guest speaker, Mr. Jim Shepherd, Mrs. Diane Fitzgerald, and our piper, Mr. Bruce Fitzgerald. And the LDSS AV Club for setting up and organizing all of our technological needs. Thanks to all the students, staff, and performers who contributed today, our front office staff for their help in organizing, and to the custodial staff for setting up the gym for today's assembly. We thank you all.
On Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, at 11 a.m., we will be altering our school schedule to allow for 2 minutes of silence to honor the memory of the almost 118,000 Canadians who have died in our country's service. Please exit the gym following the honor guard and the procession from the Liverpool Legion. Please remain silent and respectful as we exit the gym.
Thank you, students. You are dismissed.